unmanned NASA spacecraft is all set to soar into unexplored territory and will provide the first close-up look at Pluto. The NASA spaceship will fly past Pluto just minutes from now and will offer scientists the first glimpse of Pluto's surface. The flyby is scheduled for 5:20 India time. The spacecraft is supposed to send a home phone signal to Earth at 5:20. The signal could help scientists decode mysteries surrounding the 9th planet of the solar system. Let's get a word from our deputy editor Shiv Arur, who's with us on the phone line. Shiv, this is an extremely exciting proposition considering that very little is known about Pluto.
This is historic. There are no words to describe what's actually going to happen in the next 2 to 3 minutes, Simi, in terms of humanity's endeavors in space. This is further than we've ever really gone before, with a pair of eyes actually looking at the furthest known planet or dwarf planet. There's still a debate on, precisely what Pluto actually is. But these are live simulated pictures on our screen right now, coming in live from NASA as we speak, of the New Horizons space probe as it begins its final approach for that flyby past Pluto. While I'm speaking to you, if our viewers pay very close attention to those pictures on our screen, they're going to see this actually as it happens. Now, these are simulated pictures for the simple reason that the messages and the video feed from this particular spacecraft actually take about 4.5 hours to reach the, to span the billions of miles across the solar system from the spacecraft back to Earth. So to make up for those 4.5 hours, what you have right now are these real-time simulated images of precisely what the New Horizons space probe is actually looking at, Simi. Let's just, break this down and put some perspective into this, because when we're talking about this program, we're talking about mind-boggling numbers. At least 4 billion miles is the distance that has been covered by this space probe. It was launched in 2006, Simi. It has spent 9 years traveling from Earth to the farthest reaches of the solar system. It traveled around Jupiter in 2007, where it got a gravity assist, which actually accelerated it, to the speed that was required to actually make this gargantuan journey across the solar system from Earth, to Pluto. There have been probes in the past, Simi, which have actually approached Pluto, but nothing that comes anywhere close to this one. 7,800 miles is going to be the closest flyby point, which is going to happen just seconds from now, as a matter of fact, if we can see from these images. These are simulated images, but the history that's going to be embedded in these images, once we actually get them from this spacecraft, will go a very long way for humanity's understanding of the way the solar system works, the way, celestial bodies interact with each other. One of the most miraculous things I'd like to tell our viewers about the New Horizons space program, Simi, is that during the spacecraft's journey from Earth to Pluto, 2 discoveries of 2 never-before-known moons or satellites of Pluto were actually discovered during the journey. So you can imagine how much more you can see during that journey to a system, than from here on Earth itself. It's actually, it's something that makes the mind boggle. But the instruments on Pluto are, okay, and these are live images. We're getting information that this is history right now, Simi. These are the first images that were beamed back from the spacecraft of Pluto right before its final approach point. So the images on our screen right now are images released right now by NASA that have literally never been seen by humans before. A few moments ago, and NASA has just released these images of the planet Pluto. In a couple of moments from now, what you're going to see is completely uncharted territory as far as space is concerned, because the space probe is going to fly a bare 7,800 miles, a wafer distance when you consider the enormous, the gigantic distances you usually talk about in space. But remember, the real purpose of this mission, apart from the huge cost and the huge time it's taken for the spacecraft to actually reach there, about 9 years, as you can imagine, Simi, is the fact that this is going to provide the most amazing pictures and visuals of Pluto like we've never seen before. Actual high-resolution images like this, astonishing image of Pluto that nobody's ever really seen before. But apart from that, data, scientific analysis, and images that will provide an absolute treasure trove, a historic landmark treasure trove of data for astronomers, for scientists, for experts to actually gauge so many things about the solar system itself. We're going to cut across now to NASA TV Live to get some more information about this flyby as it takes place as we speak. It's going to happen right now.
Is in fact just that. We now have compositional spectroscopy that shows methane ice and nitrogen ice there. So we now fingerprint it. It is an icy polar cap after all. Our ultraviolet instrument ALICE is seeing the surfaces of both Pluto and Charon, and Dr. Randy Gladstone, who leads our atmospheres team, will have more to say about that in the coming day or so. And we've discovered that Pluto's a little bit larger than we anticipated. We now have good measurements of its diameter and its radius. Its radius is 1,185 kilometers, plus or minus 10. That settles the debate about the largest object in the Kuiper Belt. It also has important scientific implications. Because it's larger, and we've known its mass very precisely for a long time, that means it's a little less dense, which will raise the fraction of ice in the interior.
That's the first visuals that we're getting from off Pluto, an orangish picture that was just beamed. In fact, scientists are also explaining what they've been able to find out. They figured out that Pluto is much bigger than what they had actually expected in the beginning. Let's cross live again.
The larger radius has other implications as well, and you'll be hearing about those over the coming days. I'm looking forward to what we're going to be doing, in just the space of 20.
But scientists saying that the increased dimensions mean that Pluto must hold more ice and less rock beneath its surface. They've also claimed that they've been able to measure, not with too much accuracy right now, that there could be presence of methane and nitrogen around the planet, which is why that orangish glow. Shiv Roor, of course, our deputy editor, is with us live. Shiv, we got a glimpse of some of those pictures that are being beamed by NASA's spacecraft. An orangish glimpse of the planet we managed to get.
With these very preliminary pictures and data actually streaming in live right now, you can just imagine what it's going to be like for those scientists down there at NASA. Simi, this has been a 9-year wait for that entire New Horizons team. So you can imagine the emotions, the sentiments, what they're going through right now as these first images of Pluto are actually beamed back. It's a mission that's been successful. It's beaming back images that have never been seen before by humanity. These are, images and data points that are going to contribute, to unlocking mysteries of the universe, about the origin of the universe, about the state of the solar system, about, planets themselves, and will provide huge pathways, to opening new vistas of knowledge as far as the solar system and the Milky Way, the universe at large, is actually concerned. So with this successful flyby of Pluto, and like we heard the NASA official just say, more images will be coming in over the next few hours, days and weeks. It's going to be an absolute treat for people, who are interested in this sort of thing. And I can't imagine anyone who isn't actually interested in this sort of thing, because these are the first images of stuff nobody has ever really laid their eyes on. The farthest known planet or dwarf planet in the solar system, images that we're bringing to our viewers right here live on India Today. Simi.
Right, and Shiv, of course, those early pictures that we saw, scientists also saying that they were surprised to find that Pluto is much bigger as they had imagined. Also saying that they've been able to detect more ice and less rock on the surface. Of course, these are preliminary pictures. We are NASA is expected to receive fresh visuals anytime now.
I think that tells you two really amazing things, Simi. A, it tells you really just how far we are away from Pluto and how big the universe and the solar system really is. And B, it also tells you how little we really know, about the solar system and the universe at large. This, as one NASA official was saying the other day in an interaction that we were watching live, he said, no matter which way you look at it, ultimately Pluto is part of the same, planetary system that Earth is part of, and yet we know embarrassingly little about Pluto, and that has been completely exposed, if you'd like to use that word, by this particular mission. Pluto is much larger than initially imagined. It has more moons than imagined. Its composition, its structure, its atmosphere is vastly different than initially understood or actually predicted. So in many ways it's an eye-opener, a complete complete break from previous vistas of knowledge, a true leap forward as far as humanity and our understanding of the universe is concerned.